Yo, I'm back with another video, nigga. And the account is at $20. I took an L on USD JPY, and then I was asleep. I didn't wake up to my alarms, and price had showed bullish momentum. So, anyways, I had took a buy on USD JPY and made some of that money back, but I had to use half the lot I had used before. So the account is at $20. But look, this challenge hasn't been going good ever since I blew the first time. And that's because I really can't trade gold with this little amount of money. Gold is my main pair and it moves the smoothest, so like it's easy. Gold is easier to trade, but honestly, every other pair is easier to trade. I'm just fucking up. But we're gonna run this money up, and you gonna see me grow this $20 into some dog shit. And y'all be like, damn, this nigga really nice. But I want to talk about why I took this L and why I took a dub, and also my gold trade that I took. I took a trade on gold today. As you see, what I said yesterday, it had played out. Price had tapped into the level of sellers. Sellers are sitting here because push price down. Remember, price goes from buyers to sellers. This right here was the first indication, like, all right, price wants to drop because it broke this level of buyers, right? And then price pushed back up from this level, came back up. Price had buyers still sitting here. So when price got back up here, buyers were like, yeah, we're going to buy up, right? So you had this big ass gap. And then, so buyers push price back up to this level. This is a level. That's why I say marking all your zones is important, because price can bounce off of multiple levels. You just never know what it's going to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can predict the markets, but the market's still going to do what it do. That's why you go based off the markets, what the markets is showing you, not what you think is going to fucking do. Because you'll take a L right there trying to marry a fucking bias, and it's not going to do that. So price broke this. That was the first indication on Sunday at the opening. Then price had its retracement on Monday all the way back up to this area. It created a lower high off this area. The sellers pushed price down, broke this higher low and this higher low. So that tells me that price wants to continue dropping. And so price created that lower low. It's all market structure, right? The break of a higher low, a lower low, and then a lower high was created. So I took a sell off this break. You can look at it on the 15-minute a lot more. You can see price fucking create that low, and then price break that low, and then come back up here and create that lower high, and then switch back bearish by breaking this, creating that lower low and the lower high on the 15-minute. You know what I'm saying? You can see that lower low, lower high on the 15-minute, and price drop down to that next level of buyers. You can even see it on the 5-minute. Remember, when you're taking these setups, bro, you have to wait on the correction, right? You have to wait on price to correct itself on the lower time frames and show you an entry. So you see price, you can already see price building back bearish off this level of sellers on the 5-minute. You know what I mean? Like, it looks smooth as hell. And then it creates that low on the 1 hour. Look, I always look, like I said, always look on the 1 hour for overall market structure, and you drop down to your 5-minute and 15-minute for entry. So when price came back up here, you see price broke and then came back and created that lower high. It shifted back bearish. First it got to here and started looking bullish and broke here, and then it broke this and then created that lower high. It did the same thing that it did on the 15-minute on this, but on the 1 hour you can't really see it. You know what I'm saying? Create that low and that high. It just looks like a lower low, lower high on the 1 hour. But that's why we get 15-minute entries, because you see on the 15-minute price broke and then created that lower high on the 15-minute. So I entered off the break, and I'm gonna show you right now. This was my entry off this break. I entered right here, and then my stops were above here. So took this around 8 in the morning. But yeah, that's the proof that I took this setup. I can't really trade it on this fucking stupid ass low account, but that's the setup I took. And right now, price had tapped into that level of buyers. Let me full screen this shit. Fuck it. Now price tapped into this level of buyers right here. Tapped into this level, created that higher low. Remember, when price gets to a level of buyers, it can get to this level of buyers and create a higher low off that and push up off that. It doesn't always gotta directly touch this bitch. So that's why when price gets around to your relative area, you take fucking profit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait on shit to do shit, because when it reverses, it's gonna reverse quick. This happened in fucking, you know what I'm saying? Price got here, and then after it closed, the market closed, and off the open, it already went back up here. So as soon as it gets to your relative area, take your W and get the fuck off the charts, bro. Go touch grass, please. You only need to be taking one setup when you trade. It's only be one entry. That's all. Cause you're riding once you know how to trade, you're riding the trend. So you know what you're doing. You know what you're looking for. So all you need is one setup. So you should only be taking one setup a day. One setup a day, maybe two, just depending on what type of day it is. But one setup a day, you should have your stop loss where price is invalid. So if you lose that trade, you're just in the wrong trend. You know what I mean? So price tapping to the level buyers, and now you can see on the 15-minute it shifted structure. It broke this lower high, created a higher high on a higher low on the 15-minute. Now we can see price come back up to this area and either break it. If it breaks it, we know price wants to go bullish. But if it creates a lower high and starts building back bearish, then we know the market wants to continue dropping. So we will wait on that. We'll wait on price to get up here, and then we'll see what it does from there, and then we'll take a setup. That's simple. Don't overcomplicate it. It's not really that hard. Looking at the H1 for higher time frames, and then you drop to the 15-minute, 5-minute, and wait till the market structure to shift back. You know what I'm saying? And you get your entry off that. So I want to talk about the L I took on USD JPY and why I took that L. Really self-explanatory. I got in right here. My setup looked like this. Price was like, I got a sniper entry on that also. My stops were above this level right here because I knew if this lower high gets broke, then I'm just invalid. But I could have got out either right here, or right here. I was asleep when this happened. You know what I mean? But I was kind of marrying this fucking trade like a dumbass. And then I went to sleep, which fucked me even more because I could have got out right here. But you see price create that lower low. Price creates some type of support. It breaks this lower high. It breaks this, creates a higher high and then a higher low. That should have been my first sign, like, nigga, get the fuck out the trade. You know what I'm saying? And then price creates another higher high and another higher low. Once price breaks a lower high and creates a higher low, you know the trend is switching back bullish. So off of that, that's a high and that's a low. You can even see it on the 15-minute. You can see price come up, create that low, that higher low. Price came up here, broke this level, and then created another higher low, rejected this area, and pushed off. It looks way crispier on the 1 hour. That's why I use the 1 hour structure. Let me remove this. That's why I use the 1 hour structure, because you can clearly see a lower low, lower high, lower low, a higher high, and a higher low. This is the break. My bad. Let me redraw this because this is what I seen. This is a lower low, lower high. This can be a lower low, lower high, and then a lower low. The break of a lower high, and then a higher low. That is the sign of reversal. And then if that wasn't enough for you, this is a higher high and another higher low. That's bullish momentum, and it's shifting back bullish because you can see it on the 1 hour. You can literally see it. You can literally see it. You can literally see the fucking structure, bro. Look at the structure. You can see the structure. You can see it shift. And I talk about this all the fucking time. If price going lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, price can create a higher low and create a lower high and continue dropping. But if price breaks a lower high and creates a higher low, now it's shifting back bullish. And it does it time and time again. That would have been my sign to get out. After this higher low was created, I would have got the fuck out because I'm like, all right, boom. And I would have entered buys. And you see higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Now what is price doing? Price had broke a higher low, created a lower low. Remember, there's 3 confirmations we're taking a setup. So now we're just waiting on a lower high for price to continue to do this. Because why? Move. I don't want to make this video too long, but I'm gonna explain. Because price got to this level of sellers. Sellers are sitting here. Price can either get to somewhere relative around this area and create a lower high and then shift the structure, or it can break it. But price got here, created a lower high, and this is another lower high. Like, you know what I'm saying? So even this can look like a fucking trend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can even count this as a trend line. But 1 tap, 2 tap, 3 tap, it tapped into this. And now you can see USD JPY create a lower low and a lower high and drop. Or it can just fucking build back up bullish. It just depends. We'll see what it does. But that's why I took that L. Price shifted structure. I didn't get out of my trade. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't wake up from my alarm to even catch it. And then boom, price broke, make a higher high and another higher low. So I took a setup off of this higher high being made. I took a setup looking like this. Bitch, if you'll go. I took this setup. I ain't really had no stop loss because, nigga, the account's already little. But I took this setup all the way back up to here to this level of sellers and just had a quick make, you know what I'm saying, made some of my money back. But it's a baby-ass lot, so the profit ain't crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're dealing with small amount of money, the lots are just going to be, you know, the numbers are going to be small, but it's going to be the same thing when I start, you know what I'm saying, making hundreds of dollars a trade, and y'all going to see that shit. Start using bigger lot size, the money is going to start coming quick. It's going to start compounding quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just when you have a little money, it starts off a little slower, and then the money's going to get stupid crazy, and you're going to be like, damn, this nigga really doing it. It's fucking damn ass screen dirty. So, yeah, that's why I took that L on USD JPY. Don't make the same mistakes. And Bitcoin, I was just going to talk about how I was going to look for sales on Bitcoin because price had broke a higher low, created a lower low. It hit this level of sellers, created that high, and then broke it, created a lower low. But guess what? It's not creating that lower high. So you don't take sales because it's not creating that lower high. Even if you look on the 5-minute, you know, price had a little bit of resistance, but it never started building back bearish. So that makes fucking sales invalid. It has to do this shit where it starts building back bearish. If it doesn't do that, and you don't see the structure in it, you don't see those lower lows, lower highs on the lower time frame, like you'll see the structure, right? If it doesn't start doing shit like this, lower low, lower high, you know what I'm saying? Then you can't take that setup until it does that on the lower time frames. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it has to start building back bearish. You can't go off of these little 2 baby candles, you know what I'm saying? Because that ain't showing you shit. So if price breaks this, makes a high and breaks this level, I am looking for a higher low to take buys on Bitcoin because that's what it's looking like. If it breaks the level of sellers, it's going to create a high and then a higher low, and then go to that target, that next area of sellers. But you'll see price start building back bullish, like on the lower time frames. You'll see a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low on those lower time frames. You'll see structures start shifting back. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you need to be looking for. But right now, if Bitcoin makes this high, then I'm interested in taking buys. If it makes a higher high and then another higher low, I'll be interested in buys. But if it rejects this area and creates a lower high and starts building back bearish, I will take sales because it is at a level of sellers. But it just depends. I go off of what the market is showing me, not what I think is going to do. But that's pretty much it for the shits. We're still at $20, nigga. We can't really trade fucking gold because it won't let me. And yeah, so on gold, we're just looking for it to come up here and start building back bearish, and we'll take sales, or at least on my funded. USD JPY, lower low, it needs to create a lower high and start going back bearish before me to take sales on USD JPY. And then Bitcoin, it needs to create a high and a higher low for me to take buys. But like I said, if it never breaks this level of sellers and it starts building back bearish and it starts wicking out, then I'll wait for it to build back bearish and take sales on that because it did break a higher low and created a lower low. Now it needs to create a lower high for me to take sales. But it's all market structure on the 1 hour. Drop to your lower time frames and then wait for a price to show you what it wants to do, and then just take that setup. That's simple. But I'm out of this bitch. I'll fucking make another video when I take an actual position. I don't want to fucking make videos if I'm not in a position and showing y'all I'm getting in on something, because it's pointless. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna get back with you. Peace.